Okay, so Nick, I think we're live on YouTube. I can check whether we are there. YouTube. We can just go straight here. Okay. Okay. Hello. Can you hear me? Just online, please. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, sir.
Great, loud and clear. Thank you so much. Okay, let's also check on YouTube. Okay, so we have this our guest speaker right on. Okay, let me try and share my introductory remarks and you can see. Live. Okay, so see what I can see my friends here on Zoom or on YouTube. Adeshoji.
You can see the slide. Can see.
Okay, what can you see?
Yeah, introduction and remarks. African Scholars Mentors Network. ASME 4.0.
Great. Okay, so we have a 20 minutes remaining. I will just do some tests for see. Let's be sure that is slide moving.
It's moving, Prof.
Yes, sir.
Great. Okay. We're also here on Zoom and also live on YouTube. Okay. We'll make it, okay. All right. Right. I think it's 20 seconds to go, so we want to start off right away. All right, so I want to say, but my time is 6 o'clock Nigerian time. We are starting right away. Okay, 1 minute. One sec, we'll just tell you something. Oops.
It's me. Yeah, sometimes I don't.
Yeah.
It happens.
Be admitting people, Ghana. You know, we just know. Please be here, be here. We're not here, please.
There's nobody pending.
No, you're not. Please, please, please. Yeah, just chatting.
There's nobody pending. I've been admitting.
While waiting. Maybe they want to change it.
No. So,
Why is it not showing?
No.
Yeah.
okay, sorry. There was a technical issue. Can we see me?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
Prof.
Okay, sorry about that transmission. Okay, we are live right away, both on YouTube and on the YouTube and also on Zoom. So we want to move right away. Great. So good evening from here. We have our guest speaker, facilitator in the house, who will soon introduce her shortly, but just to give us this welcome background as we move along. I remain your host for ASMN 4.0, Osabuohien for ASMN African Scholars Mentorship Network 4.0. And this one is unique because you are co-organizing it with CSEX Center and at the University of Virginia. Those of us who were around at the episode 1, we saw Dr. Folabi, the chair of the Canadian Research Center, chair of that center, was with us. And thankfully, again, he will be with us at the final session next Sunday. So we are moving very fast, and I won't go into details. So please, I encourage us to go through. If you miss any episode, 1, 2, 3 that we have covered, you are strongly encouraged to go through our those episodes that are live on our YouTube link, that YouTube link there. So please go through them. Again, before we move on, just use the chat box to write your name, affiliation, and why you are here. It's good to know those who are in this meeting for today. Whether you are with us on YouTube here, on the Zoom here, or you are on the YouTube channel, please just introduce yourself briefly. This is one way to also foster collaboration, which is what one key thing we do here is to. But today's topic is on collaboration. So somebody can now know who is doing what, and then collaboration can start right away. All right, if that's task one, let's move on to task two. I won't take through that. We've done that before. These ones are done all time before, so please go through our previous channel. And I will also re-emphasize the need for setting goals. While you are joining us here, what are your short-term goals, the next 12 months, medium-term goal, 2 to 3 years, long-term goal, 7 years and above. So these are ways to help you to track your success. Benchmark is very important. So if you've not done it before, please ensure you have this one, the SMART goals for this events. So these are the episodes we have covered, episode 1, 2, 3. Here are we in episode 4, and we have Dr. Adenike right with us. We'll be introducing her shortly. Although then, we have seen something very unique on this episode 4. One is one of the most subscribed session, and secondly is we have, instead of genders, is one we have more gender inclusivity with over 44% being female, which is far above the UN recommended minimum of 30% gender representation forum. Okay, and I was shared that earlier. I was going with a DIaDeRC, German academic essay program. I was in a conference just 2 days ago. It's going with the regional office in Ghana, and we are seeing how possibly by the grace of God next year will likely host a physical event, and we'll get apply for DIaDeRC partnership, and we are very hopeful that that will come. Okay. Now we move on to other things we are there. We can go through them later on. In terms of a country of petition, those are registered. It's one of the highest episode we have series. We have persons coming from almost every country of the world, and very diverse countries, 24 countries represented, which is very, very encouraging. Okay, so this is the model we are using, and I will share shortly. At the DIaDeRC conference just yesterday here, I was to anchor for the working group. I was leading the one for social sciences, and this is the framework I was also marketing. And one of the things for that group was that to see how we can get structure for mentorship, because people talk about mentorship, but how do you handle it? And the feedback that we already have what is working, and by the grace of God, this may be replicated for other DIaDeRC alumni, which you can use. For me, it was a very good testimony that what we are doing here is being acknowledged, that could be replicated for templates. So we thank God for that. And this is also our pyramid. So you always start from anywhere and grow from knowledge consumption to knowledge stimulation, and then you work towards having what I call academic immortality. You can look at this in our previous episodes. Okay. Now, again, this is the verification and call for those of us who are so interested for closer mentoring and continuous mentoring. So we encourage to subscribe to the ASMN Premium Group. The link is out there. Just to re-emphasize that the link is on our website. You will see all of the details, benefits that are there. And once you subscribe, we'll give you the badge as evidence, and then other benefits are in there. So once again, remind you and encourage you to subscribe. And this very call we are looking at ends by 30th of November, which is by the end of the month, because we'll do onboarding. We'll do onboarding by December. So once you close this window, the batch 1 has been onboarded. They're already profiled on our website. So this batch 2 call will end by November 30. So before they try to subscribe, so you can be part of the onboarding process and enjoy the benefits that are therein. Okay. Again, thanks so much those who already registered for this event that start tomorrow. I think many of the people who are outside Common University actually from our platform. So thanks to those who registered. Many of them already arrived on campus, and the lead RPA team already arrived on campus. So we're going to start tomorrow. So I'm going to see you, some of you, physically for the first time, which is very encouraging. So see you guys tomorrow. Because if you visit, apologies, sorry for that, but there are many opportunities to watch out for, but to the extent for your sake, or if you miss it, sorry. Okay. Now, exercises again, I need to clarify this. There are two levels of criteria for qualifying for certificate of completion. I did many poses as on our platform. So there are 4 exercises. After today's episode 4, by tomorrow, by God's grace, exercise 4, which is the last one. This actually is sorry. Exercise 4, which is the last one will be posted again on our platform. So this is a link is still available. I want to check today. 80% have completed exercise 1. Thanks so much for the effort. I appreciate that. For exercise 2, 71 people have done it. For exercise 3, I don't want to say only 40, but 40% have done it. So we encourage to do. Anyway, you have missed, the links are here. And that even the YouTube video is it's also part of the link, so you can refresh your mind and take it. It's quite simple, but we want to be sure that you are following us. And since online pedagogy, this is one of the evidences that you are actually being part of the process. So by God's grace, tomorrow, exercise 4 and the final will be available. So you need to complete exercise 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the first order condition. Second order will be subscribing to ASMN Premium membership. So there are the 2 levels of criteria to qualify for certificate. And this is the design, already designed with our logo, DIaDeRC logo, and our collaborator, CSET University of Regional logo. So this is what will be issued, first name and last name, and this will be issued by next Sunday, which is the final episode, 24th of November. We'll have one of my respected mentors, Professor Tairo, as the guest facilitator for that event. And so 2-time VC of Government University and the pioneer VC of British Canadian University of Bordeaux. So he was giving us some fatherly and insights about how to climb your career successfully and rewardingly. So that being said, this is what I was saying yesterday, that this is the event just yesterday here. So I was invited to use ASMN mentorship case study and to lead. These are the group of persons, alumni of DL alumni, social sciences. This is the DIaDeRC team lead, and I was the one that was speaking. I was lead for this session. And these are people that are actually well. I think we have a former VC of a former VC. This is former VC. Well, this is former VC of Osabuohien University, now at the NUEC ES office. And these are all accomplished scholars. So we now are model. So the aim was to encourage all of these ones to start mentoring scholars. So we are marketing our approach as a structure that can be used. Okay, that is me with these guys, like German, part of the coordinators for the events, and this means giving a talk on that using ASMN as a model for premium membership. Okay, so that's it. They also have opportunities that we can take or can catch in, and this is Blue Economy in Africa Coastal Communities, led by one of our direct team members, Dr. Hassan Karakara. So these are links on our website. So please, if you're interested, you should be interested actually, and we encourage you to collaborate. The deadline is 7th of December. I just sent abstract to this email at hassankarakara.org, and then that's one. Second one is the book we're starting again. It's also on our website, but more details will come. So these are ways we can begin to collaborate and also be exposed to international scholarly community. Okay, so having said that, I want to quickly call on Mr. Tao to introduce our guest speaker for today, who has been here before you came. So, Ata, please, over to you.
Good evening all. I want to welcome us to today's edition and to introduce our facilitator of the day. Adenike Akinsemolu is an associate professor at the University of Birmingham, senior research fellow at Afe Babalola University, and the director of the Green Institute, Nigeria. She is an expert in the field of environmental sustainability with over 10 years of experience in education and research. Adenike is a UNEP GEO-7 Lead Author and a member of United Nations Sustainable Development Solutions Network. She is committed to finding bold and effective solutions to complex challenges, including the fight against climate change. Adenike has a deep passion for promoting sustainable practices and solutions for organizations and communities. She has a strong track record of success in developing and implementing sustainable initiatives. In addition to her work as an educator and researcher, Adenike is also the author of several books on sustainability, including Principles of Green and Sustainability Science, Springer 2020, Biological Science, A Concise Introduction, The Green Institute 2022, and An Introduction to Green Education, National Geographic 2022. Furthermore, Adenike founded the GEO Prize, which provides financial and mentorship support for young Nigerian secondary school girls with an interest in the sciences. She is currently an associate fellow of the Royal Commonwealth Society and the Bosch Stiftung Youth Young Researchers Awardee. Ladies and gentlemen, as facilitator for the day, Adenike Akinsemolu. You're welcome, Prof.
Okay,
Thank you. Thank you very much for the wonderful introduction. I'm just going to take a minute to share my screen, and then we can get started.
Yeah, you can go ahead and share your screen. Thank you so much.
Okay. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone from wherever you're joining us from. My name is Adenike, and I am the founder and the director of the Green Institute. The goal of the Green Institute is to build the next generation of sustainability leaders through education, through advocacy, through innovation. And so the topic of today is scaling local action to global impact through collaboration. So I'm going to just get started on where the whole journey started. This is a picture of me in secondary school. I'm always the smallest in the group. I'm still always the smallest, even up to date. I can see that you can see me just in the middle right there. So yeah, that's the secondary school. That is located in Ondo Ondo State, Nigeria. So started local. So I'm just going to, before I start my presentation, I'm going to show you this video just to give you an idea of my journey so far. My name is Adenike Akinsemolu. I am an environmentalist and a sustainability educator. I am currently a Vanguard Fellow at the University of Birmingham. As a Vanguard Fellow, I have had the opportunity to collaborate with interdisciplinary teams across campus. I facilitated a seminar on coastal women in climate crisis at the law school and a workshop on advancing just and inclusive net zero energy transition. Through my research and collaborations, I am committed to advancing the field of sustainability and working towards a future that is safe for future generations, people, and the planet. I would like to thank Dr. Walter Nosh for his hospitality and also thank Sue, Zora, and Lee at the Institute of Advanced Studies for their warm welcome. My apartment on campus had made me feel right at home, and I'm looking forward to all the great things that are to come during my time as a Vanguard Fellow. I would like to give a special thanks to my home institution, the Institute for Oil, Gas, Energy, Environment, and Sustainable Development at Afe Babalola University, under the leadership of Professor Damilola Olawi. Their support and guidance have been invaluable to my development as a researcher and a leader in the field of sustainability. I am grateful for their continued support and for the opportunity to represent them at the University of Birmingham as a Vanguard Fellow. I am also grateful to Professor Lisa Webley, the head of the University of Birmingham School of Law, and Professor Dominic Moran, Deputy Director of the Institute for Global Innovation and Institute of Advanced Studies. During my time at the University of Birmingham, I also had the opportunity to connect with family and friends in the United Kingdom. I am excited about the potential for collaboration with Dr. Ellen Oyeka from the Department of Chemical Engineering. I'm excited to be part of this vibrant community at the University of Birmingham and to have the opportunity to make a positive impact on the world through my work. Thank you so much, and as they say in my language, Eshekupo. All right, so thank you. So what I wanted you to get from that video is you can see a lot of people mentioning a lot of people and showing gratitude to a lot of people. That opportunity came as a result of collaboration with different people. I mentioned in the video Professor Damilola Olawi at the Afe Babalola University, which is my mentor, and was actually a Vanguard Fellow some years back. And it was actually the one that recommended me for that opportunity. And so that is one of the importance of collaboration. Well, the Green Institute, we're focused on Climate Action 13, which is to tackle the effects of climate change. And by degree, I have a PhD in environmental microbiology. And you can see in the video, I've talked about law school, I've talked about other departments. So even though I'm an environmental scientist by training, I was able to work with the department, the College of Law, which is, then you think about it, how is that even possible? But all this journey didn't just start. It started when I started at the Clinton Global Initiative, and I'll give you a background information for that. One day, a mentor of mine called me and said, you should apply for the Clinton Global Initiative University. By the way, the application is on now, so if you're interested, please Google that. And he said the application is due tomorrow. And he sent it to a lot of us, not just me, a lot of other mentees. And when I spoke to the other mentees, they said, tomorrow, that they are not doing it today. The application is very intimidating. So they didn't apply for it. I was the only one that applied for that particular opportunity. And I applied very late. And funny enough, I was after serving, and you can see this is my service picture. You look at this picture, this is Red Cross. So I'm always serving, I'm always doing something, serving my community and just volunteering my time. And I got a call from the Clinton Foundation to say, you know what, you should come to New York. And I'll show you the video of that.
Live at the Apollo, tonight, a revolution in youth activism begins.
Tonight we're here because young people today have more power to change the world for the better than at any time in human history. And that's why we're going to expand the idea of the Clinton Global Initiative to CGIU.
I want to welcome all of you who've come from near and far, the university presidents and administrators, the leaders of student organizations, and of course the 1,000 students who are here from all 50 states and more than 60 other nations.
My name is Ryan Peterson.
My name is Chikan Kachuku.
My name is Michael Henderson.
My name is Keshav Rajagopalan, and I'm the student body president at the University of Texas.
My name is Uza Iwala.
We are from the University of Michigan, Ann Arbor.
I am Richard Garassi. I'm president of Wagner College.
Hi, my name is Adenike Akinsemolu, and I'm originally from Nigeria, West Africa.
My name is Myron Roll, and I was one of the 32 U.S. Rhodes Scholars.
My name is Hugh MacDonald. I'm from Johannesburg in South Africa.
Last year, we had the first Global Initiative meeting for university students at Tulane University in New Orleans. It was a deeply moving experience because they were still living in the aftermath of Katrina, and we did on the last day a community service project, clearing land in the lower 9th Ward.
You know, it's slow going, but as long as people keep putting attention on it and people keep coming down here and helping out and working on it, we can make it work.
You know, people are pretty down about the world today, and yet you seem to, from these young people, feel a sense of optimism. Why is that?
Because they realize that in any difficult time, there are always seeds of opportunity.
One of the best things about CGIU is it puts a lot of big thinkers together, and it inspires them to collaborate to actually create a better sum than the individual parts.
Last year, more than 1,000 commitments were made by individual students, student organizations, and universities and colleges. This year, with 1,000 students here, already more than 1,600 commitments have been made.
My name is Lucky Gunasekara. I'm a first-year medical student at Stanford Medical School, and my commitment is to make a CD4 diagnostic that is going to cost less than $1.
My commitment is to build a multi-purpose resource center where less privileged people of the village can go and have access to information technology.
I made a commitment to address the issue of rural poverty in Russia.
These farmers are smart, but they don't have the organization and infrastructure they need to succeed. So we wish you well, Vladimir. We thank you. And I personally believe you're on the right track.
People who work together generally do better than people who fight. People who build generally do better than people who wreck. People who learn generally do better than people who insist on remaining ignorant. And people who care generally fare better than the heartless.
And I think I speak for all the students that attended CGIU when I say that you can expect wonderful things from our generation. Thank you.
All right, so after that meeting, so I represented Nigeria. And I made a commitment. So what I did was I had to go back to Nigeria, which is still local. I want to do something for my community. So I felt, where can I go? So I went back to my secondary school, which I showed you the picture in the beginning. And I went to a community service. Today is all about making an impact in volunteerism, and I think it all started with CGIU, when I attended CGIU for community service. So while we're here today, we're here to make a difference. Together we can do this thing better than any individual or any group can do on their own. The Day of Action is taking place all over the world, from London to Nigeria, and right here we're in Olondo, in Ondo Kingdom, Nigeria.
Yes, we're in the market already to educate the participants on personal hygiene and environmental sanitation.
To see this opportunity to thank Omar School Foundation and Clinton Foundation for giving us this apron. It shall be well with you. In Jesus' name. Amen.
So what I'm going to show you in that video is that after I attended the Clinton Global Initiative, I went back to my community to give back. Most people, when you have an opportunity, it is very, very important to follow up on that opportunity. It's not like we just get the opportunity, you leave, and that's the end of it. So I thought about this. How can I contribute locally? So I went back to my secondary school. And then after that, spawned something in me, and I felt I have to contribute to my community. So I took up a job at a community college, Adenike College of Education to be exact. And I was teaching my students, what does it mean to go green? That was the question. And this is about 10 years back. And in a class of over 250 students, I mean, a lot of them were like, what does it mean to go green? I'm talking about 10, 12 years back, not now that everybody's talking about climate change. They said they don't know what it is. They've never heard about it. So for me, it was like, okay, that's new. I mean, and then what I did was I wrote a book then, a small book. And when we created the green book, I gave it to my students. I said, go read on this book. Tell me, when you read it, tell me what does it mean to go green? And some of them, they came back with what we call route answers. They just came back, they've crammed the book, and they just, they read it and they pour it back to their lecturer. So I knew that they didn't quite understand what it meant to go green. And how can you blame them? If you look at the Maslow hierarchy of needs, an average Nigeria is still looking at physiological need. We're still searching for water, for food, for security. Going green is in the self-actualization stage. Is when you've eaten and you've eaten very well, that you have water, that you have safety and all that. That's when you can say, okay, I want to go into relationships. That's when you can now say, oh, I want to do something for my community. So how do you get people, regardless of their socioeconomic status, to care about the environment? So I knew that putting it in the book will not work. So I approached the provost, the then provost of the school, and I spoke to him. I said, sir, you're the #1 citizen of the school. How about you become a green ambassador? He said, a green ambassador, what's that? I said, it's very simple. Wear a green t-shirt. Instead of you taking your car to work, ride a bicycle to work from the provost lodge to the provost office. Ride a green bicycle. Students will ask questions. Why is our provost? Why is he riding a bicycle to work? And they start asking questions. And the man was very receptive to the idea, and he became our #1 ambassador. Then it was a green club. And he started wearing his t-shirts to work, and he was riding this bicycle. And before you know it, a lot of students started getting involved, and we started putting a lot of posters on campus to touch about different aspects of green. So instead of telling students to go and read about green, we're infusing it in their everyday life. So you can see, this is the science president says, I am the NAS president, cycling can keep you fit and save you money. You should try it. So there's a lecturer that says, I'm a lecturer, nature is beautiful, I dispose my waste in a bin, do you do yours? So a lot of students, when they were seeing the faces of people on campus, they were very curious. Some of them, they just want their face on billboards. So they reach out to us and say, what is this green thing about? Can I get my face on the billboard too? Things like that. And we started getting their interest. We realized that is not enough. Now we've caught their interest. How do we engage them? So we did something called the Day of Action, which we organized a seminar to educate students on climate change. Again, this is about 10, 12 years back. So it's not now that everybody knows what it is. Then it was a completely almost new thing in that community. So we're like, what is climate change? What's climate change? So we had to break it down, make it very simple. We explained it in the simplest format that they can understand. And we talk to them about different, the atmosphere, the stratosphere, the ozone layer. And we even broke it down like, think about it as the ozone layer as the blankets that protects the earth. And we made it very, very simple for them to understand. And then we now ask a question. We said, when you think about the word green, because the question was, what does it mean to go green? So we're like, when you think about the word green, what comes to your mind? And then they gave us different questions. So I have different answers. Some say growth, some say wealth, some say nature, some say Nigerian flag. Some even mention some GSM companies that use green as their logo, and peace, and so on and so forth. So the question is, and I asked them a question. I said, if being green is associated with all these positive words, then why are we not going green? There are a lot of answers, but the simple answer is corruption. And when you think about corruption, you think about corruption from a political instability, embezzlement, this government person is stealing this and doing that. But how about you think about corruption from an environmental sense? And I showed them this picture. I said, where is this? All of them said, oh, this is the Eiffel Tower. I said, it's beautiful. They say, yes. I said, you would love to go there. They say, yes. I said, but this is the reality of your local environment. This is how an average Nigeria, you drop your waste on the floor. This is a result of oil pollution in a community, in coastal communities in Niger Delta area. And this is a result of, water pollution. And some people, they depend on this water for drinking. And that in itself is corruption. So we now tell them, we need to start taking action. First, you need to reduce your waste. So now they are getting the idea of going green. They're not memorizing it. They can relate it to what is going on in the environment. So going green, number one is to reduce your waste. So you bin your waste, and we start showing them ways that they can go green. We now thought about it. You need to incentivize people. For some people, it's trash for money. For some people, it's trash for cash. Then we came up with an idea called trash for education. And this picture, this young girl, her name is Grace. And Grace, when she finished her WAEC, she wanted to study medicine. But because of some Nigerian factors and everything, she wasn't given medicine. She said they told her to, they gave her like medical physics. So Grace, her dad was like, no, you can't study medical physics. It was even medical physics. So Grace had to stay at home for another 1 year and had to rewrite, I think, a JAM. So while she was doing that, she was interning with the Green Club. At that time, it wasn't an institute, it was a Green Initiative. So what I'm walking you through how the Green Institute became a local organization to a global organization. So then Grace came to us and she started interning with us. So I told Grace, I said, if you can give me 2,000 plastic bottles, I will give you your book that you need to study. I'll give you a solar lamp that you need to read at night. And we're just joking. And Grace went to her mother and told her mother about it. Before you know it, her mother went to all the market women. And if you look at it, she brought a lot of plastic bottles to us. So this was what came about the idea of trash for education. You get students to give you trash or their plastics that they're not using. They're cleaning their environment without thinking about it, and they're getting incentives in return. So when Grace brought us all this plastic, then we gave her the book and the solar lamp. Okay. Then we started talking to college students and saying, you know, you need to reduce visual pollution. You need to think about innovative way to run your campaign. You don't have to plaster the whole of the college or the community, deface it with all these things. So we started getting what we call green ambassadors, and they started going on their campuses locally to make that impact. And they started cleaning their environment. They went on to renovate a lot of primary schools, secondary schools in rural communities. And then we also encourage them to plant flowers and trees. So when I was teaching my students about photosynthesis, you know, we talked about the idea of when you have a lot of flowers, when you have a lot of trees, obviously there's more oxygen that is released into the atmosphere as a byproduct. So I told them, you know, for an action, let's plant flowers and trees. Obviously, initially, a lot of students didn't want to, they're not interested. But one student turned to 2 students, 3 students. This particular tree, if you go back to that college of education, it's not a university, you will see that this tree is really big now. Some people use it, some students even sit under it to read and everything, but this was when it was planted. And most importantly, while they are planting flowers, they're also learning collaboration, they're learning teamwork. We also encourage students then to start conserving energy. And you know, this is a project by students then, and this is a solar-powered ATM machine. I think EcoBank was sponsored by EcoBank in those days. So students are beginning to think outside the box. They're beginning to look for local solutions into some of their problems. And then we said, okay, you know what? You need to start conserving water because every drop counts. You know, there are people that don't have access to water. And these are ways to go green. So we started, instead of talking about it, we're putting it into their everyday activity. Then we encourage them to green the campus and to green their transportation. So you see, these are registrar. This is the registrar of this college at that time. This is myself, even though I was a lecturer in this. I mean, I was a lecturer in this picture, although I look like my students. These are my students. You can see we ride bicycles, we do all those things just to encourage. This was the college librarian at that time, just to encourage and promote that. We also encourage students to grow their own food, to have their own garden, which is growing organic food. And this is an example of the school farm. And students started becoming agro entrepreneurs and making their own, having their own small farm. And then the school was also exporting palm oil from the palm. And they were also just having fun doing it. And then we said, it's not just okay to talk to university students. So after we train the university students, we encourage them to go to their various campuses. I mean, to various primary schools and secondary school and teach what we've taught them. So they started going to secondary schools and replicating the idea. This young lady, her name is Odunayo Aliu. Some of you, she's the founder of Bramble Network. Some of you might have heard of her. She just recently won the Future Awards for the Future Prize Awards for Education. Just I think last week, which is one of the biggest awards that an African can have right now. She started with a Green Club. Okay, so this was what she was doing, but now she's a global figure. So these are some of the activities. Then we started when they were going to primary schools. We started translating green ideas into comic books. So because we know that we can't be talking to young people about green ideas, so we know that we have to put them into comic, and not just any kind of comic, but what they can recognize. So you want to talk about things that they can see in their environment. You can't be talking about snow. There's no snow in Nigeria, right? So we have to bring the comic books to what they see locally, so that they can understand it. And then we moved to secondary schools. We did a project with the National Geographic. So the project with National Geographic came about this book called the Introduction to Green Education. And currently this curriculum is being used by some secondary school in Ondo town or even Ondo state. And then move a step further. So I said, okay, we've done primary school books, not secondary school books. What about university students? So I published my first book. It's called The Principles of Green and Sustainability Science. What I need you to understand in what I want you to take note is I'm not just showing you these things for showing sake. I'm showing you that there's a message somewhere. The message is green. That's always been green. Whether it's a book for secondary school, whether it's a book for university, there's an element of green in whatever I do. So it's called The Principles of Green and Sustainability Science. And this is tailored towards university students. And there are some universities actually in Nigeria right now that are taking this course as a first year university student do take this course. And we're also currently working on the massive online online course for this particular book, and we have over 100 professors and doctors and academic and practitioners from all over the world, from the UN, everything, that are contributing to this book. And this book was written locally, but it was published by Springer, which is obviously one of the largest science publishers in the world. So we also encourage, like I've talked about it, we encourage our students to go into entrepreneurship. So while we're teaching students to ride bicycle on campus, this particular guy, he came up with an idea. The idea is called Send Me. And the way the idea of Send Me came about is very simple. After we encouraged them to start riding their bicycle on campus, one day, it was Valentine's Day. So one of his friends said, and I want to deliver flowers to my baby, this kind of that. What can I do? And then this guy said, you know what? Just give me the money. I'll go and buy you flowers. I will help you write the love note. I will do everything for you and I will deliver it to the girl. So it started as a joke. And then the friend was like, okay, here you go. And then he delivered everything. And when he delivered it, the girl was so excited. The girl posted it online and everybody heard about it. And before you know, they started calling him for business. Can you help me deliver this? And people started calling him on campus. Can you deliver this to this place? Can you deliver this to that place? Can you deliver that? And it became, before you know, it became a business. So he called it Send Me. So whatever you need to do on campus, you just send him. He will go and help you get it and he will deliver it at a very small cost. While he's doing that, he's making some small money. He's not buying fuel. He's within the campus. And he's also keeping fit while he's doing it. And next thing, he started employing more people to join him in the business. So he started buying more bicycles and stuff like that. This young man, obviously, has graduated a long time ago. He works for Keystone Bank right now. So we have something called the Green Ministers program. And the Green Ministers program is kind of like the ambassadors program that we talk about. We have the ministers program, which is part of the ambassadors program. And some of these ministers, when you see some of them now, they're all doing well in their various community. Now, this idea started locally, started in Adenike College of Education. Then one day we got a call. The call was from Sahara reporters. And they said they want to come to Adenike College of Education. Again, if you look at this was 9 years ago, that they would like to, they've been hearing about this Green Club, and they would like to come and feature Green Club. So I said, who is coming? They said they're going to send one journalist from Sahara reporters just to come to us. I said, okay, no problem, we're ready. I called my student. I said, let's wait for them. Funny enough, when we were waiting for the interview,
campus,
what showed up. Okay.
Inspired you?
Okay, what inspired me was
campus. What inspired you?
Okay, what inspired me was when I was teaching my degree 2 students about photosynthesis, and photosynthesis involves the whole process of planting of flowers and trees and how oxygen is released into the environment. So I simply asked them, what's the meaning of going green? And to my surprise, I noticed that a lot of students don't know what going green is. They've never heard about it before. And if you go to developed societies and you ask an average 2-year-old what it means to go green, they will tell you. So that was how the idea started. So I told my students, okay, let's do this. Let's plant flowers on campus, and and most of them were not really receptive to the idea because they felt that, especially the guys like me, going outside and planting flowers is a dirty job. But about 2 of them started planting of flowers, and then we started taking pictures and having fun. And before you know it, a lot of them were joining and they want to be part of the idea. So it's not just about greening now, it's teaching them teamwork. And while they're doing this teamwork, they are also greening the environment, because the idea is when you plant a lot of flowers, then you have more fresh air to breathe in. But the idea of going green is not just planting of flowers. So that goes back to your question on why are we greening the most greenest parts of Nigeria. Going green is an umbrella term for living your life in such a way that you don't harm the people around you, you don't harm yourself, and you don't harm your environment. So it's a win-win situation. So it also covers, conservation of water, because if you go to other countries or other places, some people don't have access to water. And, we have access to water, we just waste it. So what if we don't have enough of water? So that's why, I took it upon myself that it's not just about planting of flowers. There are other things like conservation of energy, conservation of water, not eating in excess, because if you don't eat in excess, it's good for your body. And at the same time,
exercise, you've introduced people
exercising, like fitness, cycling, and all that. So it's part of going in. And it's not just that, even social entrepreneurship. In terms of business, when you ask an average Nigerian, an average student about business, they just want to do business for money. So we're saying, okay, how about the idea of social entrepreneurship? That's part of going green, in such a way that you think about your business in a way that it has the success of business is not measured by the profit only. It's measured by the social impact and how can you do a business that does not affect your environment. So we're also teaching students about social entrepreneurship.
So what's the strength of participation? How many students eventually joined you? I assume this is a club or something.
Yeah, it's a club, is an initiative, and we have a lot of. Initially, when we started, we didn't really have a lot of people, but when we did our first program, it's called the Green Series. So a lot of people started, when we actually told them, okay, this is the idea of going green, a lot of people started joining us, and they want to be part of what we're doing. And the response have been very good. But at the same time, we don't want just to get people because we want members. We want to have serious-minded people be part of the organization, even though our message is for the whole community. But in terms of the members, we want it to be people that are actually serious, because part of going green is not just about crusading around and say going green. It's also about living your life in that way, and to exercise every day, to eat organic food and all those things can be. It's not everybody that can do it.
But
So
you could tell that organic food is also expensive. How do you?
but it's not expensive in this part of the world.
Okay.
So, but we take it for granted. An average person doesn't want to eat like the normal cook at home. What I wanted to show you with that interview is that interview changes a lot for me personally and a lot for the Green Initiative. After that interview with Sarah reporters, we started getting calls. I didn't know, at that time, I didn't know how big it was. It was just because I was just sitting on my own and they said somebody is coming to interview me. And then he showed up and said, oh, my name is Osabuohien. I was like, okay. At that time, I didn't really quite know who he was. And then before you know it, uncles, aunties, everybody started calling me, oh, we saw you on Sarah Reporters. We saw you on YouTube. We saw you this, da, da, da. And that is when we started, that local idea just, went off. Until today, even with the founders, with some of the show where we're still very much in contact. There's been a lot of collaborations, there's been a lot of help, even from his organization at that time and even up to now. So after that, a lot of other people started hearing about the Green Initiative. And then we started getting calls from neighboring African countries like Egypt, like Congo. And this guy, his name is Mahmoud, he applied and he said, I want to come and do an internship. I've heard about this initiative. I want to come to Nigeria. I said, but we don't have money. We don't have money to bring you to Nigeria. We're in Ondo town. Ondo is not really, something where you would want to come. And you guys are, I'll look for my own money. I'll look for whatever it is. I'm coming. I want to see what you guys are doing. And that is when the idea came that we need to transition the Green Club into a Green Institute. And this guy came to Nigeria. We welcomed him. And we had other students from other parts of Africa coming to do an internship with us. Where is this Mahmoud right now? Mahmoud is currently working for UNESCO. He was doing his PhD. I'm not quite sure if he has finished his PhD program. When Mahmoud came into the Green Institute, it wasn't quite clear or sure what he wanted to do. But after his internship with us, I think he spent about 3 months with us in Ondo Town, Nigeria. And he felt, you know what? I like this green idea. I want to go into environmental engineering. I want to focus on water. So now he works for UNESCO. This was the conference that we went for. That was where he presented his first paper. When he came to the Green, he said, I don't know how to write. I don't know how to do this. I said, don't worry, we're all going to collaborate and we're going to get something out of it. So this was one of the conferences that we attended. These are some of the fellows from the interns from the Green Institute. Some of them are from different countries across Africa. And most of them now, so many years now, they're doing so much. This is I mean, this is one of his LinkedIn message where he talked about, presenting his first PhD paper. And I was really proud when I saw it. And this is Becky. You can see Becky in this picture. He was also one of the interns. This was Becky when she was an intern too. She came from, I think she just finished university. She read zoology. And during the time before she was going for service, she came to the Green Institute. She said, I want to volunteer for this organization. I've read about it. I said, we don't have money to pay you. We just started. They said, don't worry. I just need the knowledge. I just need the skills. Now, where is Becky? Becky has finished a master's in the university in UK. Funny enough, when I was in the University of Birmingham, at some point, this was during our graduation, and she sent me a test and she said, Prof, thank you so much for whatever, I'm graduating the university. I was like, wow. I said, where is it? She told me the time. I didn't say anything. I got to I took the train. I went there. I called her. I was like, I'm outside your school. She was so surprised. And this is Becky's child. So a lot of them, they started as intern, but they're doing great things now. Now she's a social worker and she works for young refugees, and she works for the government, the UK government. And you can see this is another, some of a LinkedIn message that says, despite not the days of little big beginnings, and truly the young shall grow. And she talked about, during her time as an internship, going for an internship after my first degree was one of the best decisions I've ever made, and so on and so forth. And she wrote about, her family and how, I try to support, and how we still come to our graduation and everything. This is Osabuohien Aliu. Osabuohien Aliu just, she's a recent Washington Mandela Fellow, and she also won the Future Prize. She was also an intern at the Green Institute. And you can see them, they were younger here, and they're doing great things now. So she's a social entrepreneur, and she's the founder of Bamboo Network. You might want to check that out, bamboonetwork.org. And we also introduced something called the early trading, and these are our first graduates at the Green Institute that got our diploma in early childhood education, and they're working with it. I mean, Elizabeth is working with a very big nonprofit organization now in education, especially with young people. So they're using it. And we started going into different campuses, Elizabeth University, a lot of universities, and then we started transitioning into universities outside of Nigeria, spreading the green message, having green clubs in different universities across Nigeria. And we work with different universities, again, across Nigeria. This is where we work. And we started with something called the Officially Green campaign. And the Officially Green campaign is very, very simple. It's a pledge that you pledge to say, I want to be officially green. The campaign started locally, but up to date, we've had people taking over 10,000 pledge, if not more. And this is the pledge.
Meet your right hands on your shoulders. Now let's write the pledge. My name is Mutrayo. My name is Janice.
I will never drop that waste on the floor.
We are drink more this. Because I know some people don't have access to food and water. Because I know that people don't have access to food and water.
I will switch off my appliances when not in use.
Switch off my appliances when not in use.
I will travel sustainably.
I will travel sustainably.
I will tell others about the green movement.
I will tell others about the green movement.
Above all, I pledge to be green. So ladies and gentlemen, let's go green. Thank you very much for having me.
So that's a local pledge. Started as a local pledge, but now that pledge has been taken practically all over the world. And when we started the pledge, it was so simple. And one of the parts of the pledge is, I will never drop that waste on the floor. So during COVID, there was something called the Afe Plastic Challenge. I don't know if some of you have heard about it. It's called the Afe Plastic Challenge. And it's a £1 million prize for anyone that can solve plastic pollution. Again, during COVID, people were not working. And I remember that time I got a call, a message or an email to say that we would like you to become one of the judges of the Afe Plastic Challenge, which is quite a big deal because that means I'm the main judge for the whole of the competition, which was sponsored by the Canadian government. So we judged about millions of applications until we were able to get the final winner for the £1 million prize. And even during the Afe Plastic Challenge, after doing the Afe Plastic Challenge, that got me into Kenyatta University. And they heard about the Officially Green, and then they said, oh, you need to come to talk to our students about officially going green. So this was in Kenya. So we started talking to people all around, and the pledge, and people started taking the pledge, and now people just take it without even us being there. You can see these are the pledges. When you see the green ones, those are the officially green pledge. These are ambassadors from different parts of Nigeria and different parts of the world going all over to different schools without us doing anything. It just went viral by itself. And people are taking the pledges. Young people are saying, my name is so, I am officially green. And yeah, they're planting their flowers, they're taking actions in their various communities. So you see people wear the t-shirt, they make the t-shirt themselves just to say, oh, I'm officially green. An idea that started local in Ondo Town. You see people pledging to be green, treat officially green, blah, 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 and so on and so forth. And these are people that have taken the pledges from different parts of the world, all over the world. It's now a global movement. And we don't stop at that. We also we do a lot of field work in local communities, most especially the coastal regions of Nigeria, Ondo State, that is going through lots of climate crisis right now in Ayetoro community. And how this project started was when I was doing my PhD, I went to take some samples in the coastal regions of Ondo State. While I was taking my samples, what I was looking for was scientific in nature. I was trying to do the microbial analysis of the water. I was trying to do the genotoxical analysis of the water and the physiochemical analysis of the water. But while I was there, I started seeing other things like there's some social issues. I noticed that women and children are more affected by the impacts of climate change. So I started going back to the community, and I was engaging with the community. I was taking pictures. I was talking to the women, and I have pictures from that community that spans over 10 years. And the picture shows the effect of climate. Some people say climate change is not real. Pictures have been taken maybe in 2013 till date. You can see there are some communities that existed in 2013 that did not exist again due to the effects of climate change. And somebody will see it and said, over 1,000 houses have been destroyed. Over 10,000 people have lost their source of income. And then a German organization sees this and says, this is pretty interesting. How were you able to take pictures from 10 years back till now? And this just simple local idea that I just did, this is going to be showing in the Berlin Brandenburg Academy of Science Museum in January. So they're going to, all those photos, they are blown up I'm going to be doing my first exhibition about that. A local idea, is turning into something that is global. Also, through collaborations, we've been able to use our collaborations and our network to start hosting world events, global events. Like every year at the Green Institute, we do host the World Water Day. We've partnered with the University of Bradford, we've partnered with the University of Birmingham. This was the 2024 World Water Day. And this was the 2023 World Water Day event. And every year we also host the World Environment Day. And just to give you a background of how our World Environment Day Symposium started. Again, it started during COVID. A lot of people were bored in the house. And we didn't have what to do. We're so bored. What are we going to do? And it was World Environment Day. On a normal day, during World Environment Day, everybody will be outside. But all of us were stuck in the house because of COVID. So we came up with the World Environment Day Symposium. And then we wrote to Jeffrey Sachs. If you're in the sustainability space, you will know who Jeffrey Sachs is. He's a pretty big person that you can't just write to and he will say yes. And we wrote to him and we said, Professor Sachs, we would like you to become the keynote speaker for our World Environment Day Symposium. He said, where are you guys? I said, we're in Nigeria. I said, wow, okay. He said, yes. All the world leaders that we not know they are going to say yes to us, they started saying yes to us. And that was how we hosted our first World Environment Day Symposium. And it was attended by all those people from different parts of the world. And it was the biggest, if not the biggest symposium that was World Environment Day Symposium that was hosted in the world at that time. And then, so we kept on and we kept the momentum. This year, we hosted it. We have Director of Ecosystem Divisions at UNEP as the keynote speaker. And then we started, so we hosted a lot of conferences. We also hosted the World Sustainability Conference at the University of Birmingham. Again, through collaborations. When I went to the University of Birmingham, I was like, okay, you know what? Can I collaborate with this department? And they said, yes, why not? This was another conference, international law conference that we hosted at the Olusegun Obasanjo Presidential Library in Abeokuta. And we had, I remember when we're trying to host this conference, we said we need to bring an international person to Nigeria. They said it's not possible. We end up bringing the UNICEF, the chief of WASH or the head of WASH unit in Nigeria for UNICEF. She came on her own, we didn't pay for her anything. She came all the way to be the keynote speaker for this event. And so on and so forth. You can see, these are the plethora of speakers that we have. This was the World Sustainability Conference that we hosted at the University of Birmingham. This was this year version that we hosted. This was hosted virtually. We also hosted the Cassandra conference with EURECAT, which is a European organization. You can see this is a biannual conference and is partnered with the Green Institute. So for me, even when you go global, you don't forget where you come from. I still go back to my secondary school. I still give back in the way I can. And I can still encourage the kid. Even for the World Environment Day, I partner with the secondary school students to do the World Environment Day video. And you're going to watch that. Sure. Hi, I am Adenike, and together we are the voice and the hands of generation restoration. $15 billion trees fall each year. Can you believe it? Look around, see the litter, the barren fields, the dry streams. Our earth is speaking, and it's time we listen. It's on us to heal these wounds, to start the mend, because the world we love depends on the care we lend. Recycle that bottle, plant a tree, save a drop. Small acts at home, in school. Each little thing adds up to a lot. Together, our small actions are the best shot. Let us unite, each of us a part of this earth. From your street to mine, let's give it a rebirth. You and I in this together, restoring our homes today and forever. We are the change, the now, the how. We are generation restoration starting now. Every seed planted, every piece of trash picked up, each one of us makes a difference. Join me, be the heartbeat of restoration. Because together, we're not just a generation, we are the solution. So that was for the World Environment Day for this year. So how do we also foster local collaborations, global collaborations through local connections? Well, this paper, if you look at this paper, it's called The Roles of Microorganisms in Achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. And I'll tell you why this paper is so significant. When the SDG was released, when everybody was talking about the Sustainable Development Goals by 2030 and so on and so forth, everybody was talking about the role of businesses, the role of education, the role of religious organization, the role of, everybody's talking about the role of something, something, something. And then one day it struck me, I said, nobody is talking about the role of microorganism in achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. I remember I run the idea through someone, just like microorganism, but you can't even see them. What role do they have to play? I said, you know what, I'm going to write about it. And I'm going to publish it in the #1 sustainability journal in the world, or sustainable development journal in the world. He said, how? You're just a lecturer in a community college, in a college of education. How are you going to do that? You don't know that if you want to publish in Elsevier, you have to know all these foreign people. You have to, they just make it seem like it's something that is so not achievable. So I started writing. It took me like 3-4 months to write this paper. It took me even more than a year before I could publish the paper. And I submitted it. I remember when I submitted it to the first journal, I was rejected. I submitted it again. So I now went to the Journal of Cleaner Production and I submitted it there. And there was a lot of back and forth. Oh my God. This one, when you see, in fact, when you see the reviewers' comments, already, you are ready, if you just give up, you say, I'm not doing this thing again. But you know, I just kept going. And sometimes I'll go to some older people and say, can you look at this paper? Can you help me? You know, these are the comments. I don't know what to do. They'll give me advice. Sometimes they said I need editing, language editing. I'll go to people that can do language editing. They'll help me. You know, I just kept going. I think I'm sure I have over like 4 or 5 revisions on this particular paper. The role of green microbiology in achieving sustainable development goal. But anyway, long story short, it was published. Now, what did that do for me? Very simple. 2 years later, this paper was published, I think it was in 2018 or so. 2 years later, in 2020, the Association of Microbiology, the UK association, the big body, they now wanted to, they are now jumping on the whole sustainable development goals. So they now wanted to host a conference. Guess the title of the conference. The title of the conference is The Role of Microorganisms in Achieving Sustainable Development Goals. So they went online, they searched, my paper came up. And then they were like, what country is this person from? Nigeria. How can somebody in Nigeria write this paper? But obviously, my paper has this title. They can't host their conference because then you have some copyright issues and things like that. So they had to reach out to me. Like, they sent me an email and they said, oh, we, the Society of Microbiology in the UK, we would like to host our conference. But we found out that you've already even done the idea 2 years ago. How is that even possible? I said, well, I just wrote the paper. They said, okay, you know what? How about we fly you to the UK? All expenses paid. Just come and attend our conference and give your opinion or something. Just be part of the conference. And that's, for me, that was when I knew that, you know, people say when you publish, what's the point of publishing? In Nigeria, we publish because we want to be promoted. You know, publishing goes beyond promotion. Publishing can make you lots of money. It can give you lots, it can open lots of doors, because after that, a lot of people started reaching out to me to consult on this and that and that and that. Just that one paper, it changes a lot of trajectory for me. And then later, you know, fast forward in 2023, I published The Principles of Green Microbiology. Immediately, the paper was accepted with little or no correction, okay? Because now it took time, but I've actually now mastered what it is needed to publish paper in reputable journals. And that is why it's very, very important. And this is another book that we're working on with Elsevier, which is Green Microbiology. Notice that my message has always been clear. Whether it's in education, it's green education. Whether it's in science, it's green science. Whether it's in microbiology, it's green microbiology. It has always been clear. And then I got selected as the UNEP lead author for chapter 8. And that was where I met Professor Evans, right here.
Yes, boss. Okay.
That was where I met. So you can see collaborations, just, you know, you move from one place to other, then you collaborate, you know. On a normal day, if I want Professor Evans to come to what I'm doing, I might have to write a long email, I might have to do a lot of things. But because I've met him personally at the conference, it's very easy for me to just call him and say, Professor Evans, please, I have this program, will come and join my program. And he probably would say yes, because now there's a connection somewhere. And so even at this event, I've met a lot of people, I've made a lot of connections. You know, it has helped me with a lot of other things. Even just putting it on your CV changes a lot of things. And what I need you to understand is that this role is not given to me because it's because of a global, no, it's that localness, because they're looking for people to write on a specific chapter in Africa. They're not going to go to the US, they're going to go to Africa to look for an expert in Africa. So when you're looking at sustainability experts in Africa, the mistake that most of us make is that we try to go from outside inside. You're supposed to go from inside outside. So when you become an expert, most of the roles that I've talked about, the Afroplasty Challenge, they contacted me because they felt that I am an expert in Africa, not because I'm claiming that I'm from the US or I'm claiming that I'm from the UK, because there are a lot of experts all over the world. So what expert are you? An expert of your own region? You know, some people will say, I remember when I first started there, they used to call me local champion. I'd be like, yeah, it's okay. That's fine. Local champion is fine. So far, I master my own environment. It's fine. And it's paying off right now, because the only reason I'm selected for this is because they want me to write about my region. And there are about 200 authors globally. So they're going to have authors from all over the world. Okay, so somebody needs you. And from that meeting, I've met a lot of people. I've met Dr. Susa Gardner, who is the director of Ecosystem Division at UNEP. Now she's also on the advisory board member for the Green Institute. Also the executive director of UNEP itself. I met Elizabeth Marema and a lot of key people, even just being in that meeting. And remember, I told you a story of how I went to the Clinton Global Initiative. This man right here was the one that told me to apply for that opportunity. It started all locally. He just sent me an email, sent all of us an email. This man, right, this is how it all started. And then this man also came to Nigeria. We invited him to my college then. And then he attended I think this man invited him. And then he now attended a program at a seminar at the college. And then he met me. And then he heard about the green idea. I was like, this thing is good though. Next thing, he connected me to his university in New York. Before you know it, they are flying me to New York to come and be talking to their students. So you can see the effect of collaboration. You meet somebody, you maintain, you network with them, you give them something of value. It's not just about networking. You don't go to people when you meet them and start telling them, this is what you should be doing for me. You yourself, what do you have to offer? Because that's the mistake that a lot of people make. Because most of these guys, a lot of people come to them for a lot of favors. You yourself, you have to find out what is it am I good at? What can I offer them? So he was able to invite me because he knows that, okay, if I invite her, she can motivate young people on the idea of going green. And that was why I was invited to the program. After that, I've been invited to even like Qatar to talk to students. I've taught master's level students, PhD level students in Qatar. And, I go there, I remember when I was going to Qatar, they're like, all these countries, they're very strict on their dress code. They're very strict on, that doesn't apply on a global platform. I'm going there as a speaker, I'm dressed like this. So they're looking at what is the knowledge you have. Nobody cares if you come from Nigeria or from Ondo Town or from anywhere. It's what do you have here? What do you have to give to the world? And that is why I'm being invited to most of these places. And again, I've met a lot of people. This is from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Obviously, we know the former president of Nigeria. We know this lady that I met during my fellowship at the Ombuds Fellowship. And so many people and so forth. This is Afe Babalola. This is the founder of Afe Babalola University. We know Amina Mohammed, former environmental minister of Nigeria, now the deputy UN Secretary General, obviously Bill Clinton. I also did an internship with, after the CGIU, I did an internship with the Clinton Foundation. And so many people. This guy is Jane Ansel, is one of the #1 climatologists in the world. I've done a TED Talk. And all this idea started because I started a very simple idea of what does it mean to go green. I've went back to my university, the university that I've finished from, Babcock University. I was invited back to talk to I think these are like 300 or 400 level students at that time. So I was invited back to talk to them. This was FUTA. I did my PhD at Federal University of Education, Federal University Technology Akure. FUTA, very proud to finish from there. And anything I've been doing right now, I'm using that same FUTA certificate. It doesn't matter. It's not where you get it from. It's what you have, what you do with it that really actually does matter at the end of the day. And this was when I was a PhD student at FUTA. And now I've been back to FUTA to give some talk, even after that, to advise young people and also and so forth and so on and so forth. And most recently, I was selected as an Ombuds Fellow. And so I'll just give you that video and then we'll wrap up the session. So I'll just play that real quick.
Our knowledge, two sides of the same coin. Knowledge is an absolutely foundational contribution to power or to empowerment of people. And if that is unevenly distributed, we have to ask the question, where does this come from? And the residency program is a format in which we combine scientists and non-scientists from all over the world in order to think about some fundamental aspects that make it difficult to evolve the world into the future, so the big problems.
I'm a green microbiologist and I've worked in a lot of communities to see how microbes interact with the environment. And by doing that, I've been to communities that are coastal communities that are greatly affected by the impacts of climate change. And what I'm trying to do is to draw parallel between microbes and people that are unseen, because microbes, we can't see them with our naked eyes. They're the most important organisms actually, because they're important in ecological balance, and they can even help us with carbon sequestration that can help climate change. So what I'm trying to do is draw parallel now with this community that women and girls or indigenous communities are often marginalized. We tend not to look at what is their role. They can actually contribute to climate resilience, but they're often overlooked. The voices are not heard.
I think being a part of this residency, it's important to be a bit of a dreamer and to really think outside your own box and beyond.
A lot of things have come from just staying true to the message, staying true to who you are in terms of, and then maintaining those relationships. Publications, especially if you're in academia, is very, very important. I've been able to collaborate with Dr. Onyeka. When I met Dr. Onyeka, I remember I told her that it was really hard to publish as an African scientist due to, pectoral reasons, infrastructure, resources and all of that. And Professor Onyeka told me that, just let's collaborate. I like this great microbiology idea. Let's work on it together. And I said, no problem. And she told me, she said, Adenike, if you are willing to put in the work, I can guarantee you will publish nothing less than 25 papers in reputable journals in a space of 1 year. I said, why not? I'll put in the work. And then she set me up into like a group. So what we did was we had a writing group, about 5 of us. So what she tell us is each 5 of us or 6 or 7 of us, bring your own topic. And so all of us will submit our topic to her. Of course, all of us have the same kind of interest, but maybe different fields. So once we submit our topic, she will tell us, okay, Adenike, this is your own topic. You'll be the team lead for this topic. Maybe Olariwaju, I'm just giving examples of random names. You will be the team lead. So instead of one person sitting down to write a whole paper, we'll all collaborate. So for my paper, I'll give them the framework of the paper. So maybe you have introduction, you have methodology, you have all these things. So anybody that is an expert will come in, somebody will write the methodology, I'll write the introduction, conclusion, and work. And before you know it, a paper is done. So we move on to the next paper, and we move on to the next paper, move on to the next paper. Guess what? She told me that, Adenike, you're going to publish 25 papers in the space of something like that. Between myself and Dr. Ellen, we have over 50 publications together, okay? Collaboration. Yeah, so, and they are all in reputable journals. There was one publication that we did that is all over the news now. It's on green education. A lot of news, Sky News, all the big news agencies, they talked about the impact of that paper. That is collaboration. I went to University of Birmingham as a Vanguard Fellow. And, from the collaboration, I didn't go to Department of Chemical Engineering. I went through the College of Law, but I was able to meet Dr. Onyeka. And when I met her, she was in chemical engineering. And she said, you know what, we can collaborate together. And, after the fellowship, I put in my application into the department as an associate. And then I got in and everything. It was just through that connection. A lot of things, and we try not to talk about it, but a lot of things, they would say in Nigeria, everything is connection. That's not, anywhere, it's connection anywhere. Even the Humboldt fellowship that I got, it was because somebody in the network saw the advert and sent me the advert and said, please apply for this thing. It's a good opportunity. If Professor Evans sees something now that relates to me, he's probably going to send it to me and say, Adenike, can you apply for this? So, and I will do the same too for anybody. So you want to hold on to your connection. And it's not always take. We have this thing of always taking. What do you have to contribute? What do you have to give? And it's not money. It's just, do you want to give your time? Do you want to help? Like my mentor, Professor Damilola Olawi, is one of the youngest professors in Nigeria. He's a senior advocate of Nigeria. He's currently deputy vice chancellor of Afe Babalola University. He has helped my career in ways that I cannot even imagine. And it's not like I don't have anything to give him because he has everything, right? But in my little way, when he's doing anything, he's the president of the International Law Association. If he's doing anything, I will be there. Like, no matter what he's doing, I will try and attend those conferences. If he's creating the conferences, whatever I can contribute, whether it's my writing skills, whatever it is, I always contribute. And anytime he has anything, he will always call on me. For instance, just earlier this year, he called on me that there was something in Colombia.
So,
the
Prof,
International
can
Bass.
you try to study up?
Yes, I'm rounding up.
A few minutes for you, and I know there are so many questions that will come so far because it's practical.
Yeah, so I'll just round up with that story. Yeah. So he told me about the Columbia idea, International Bar Association. I was really intimidated. I said, these are lawyers. What is me that I'm a scientist? What am I going to do? He encouraged me, and we went for that conference together, and he put me on the panel, and we all, I made my contribution as a scientist. That was earlier this year. It took 24 hours to get to Columbia. It was really, really like a long journey just for us to speak for like 5 minutes. But guess what? After that, just 2 weeks ago, a university in Colombia has reached out to me to say, we would like you to be a guest lecturer for some of on our courses on energy transition. And I've been able to do that course. Obviously, it's paid. So that is why you want to collaborate with people and you want to keep that connection. So to round up, at the Green Institute, we have a lot of programs. This is one of our programs that we've just launched. Recently, I just released a book for African, having an African superhero, again, the local idea and bringing it up. The book is available on Amazon and a lot of websites. And I could have this particular children's book, I could have called it Marcos or call it some name or make it like a Oyibo or English kind of thing, but I made it local. And people are appreciating it better because they're like, wow, this is the first time we're seeing a Black superhero that is an astronaut. And that is what makes it sell, going from local to global. And just to round up the session, we have something called the Green Pledge at the Green Institute that I've talked about, the Officially Green. And I would like all of us, wherever you are, whether you're on YouTube, whether you're on Zoom, to take the Green Pledge with me, if you would like. The way you take the Green Pledge, Professor Evans, you're gonna work with me on this, is you put your right hand on your chest and you say after me. Don't worry, it's not a cult, it's just a commitment to something. So when I say whatever I say, you say it. So, but don't say my name, say your own name, okay? So my name is Adenike.
My name is Osabuohien.
I will never drop that waste on the floor.
I will never drop that waste on the floor.
I will eat and drink moderately.
I will eat and drink
moderately.
Because I know some people do not have access to food and water.
Because I know
some people do not have access to food and water.
I will switch off my appliances when not in use.
I will always switch off my
appliances not in use.
I will travel sustainably.
I will travel
sustainably.
I will tell others about the Green Movement.
I will tell others about
the Green Movement.
Above all,
I
pledge to be green.
I pledge to be green.
Thank you. I hope that you guys stay true.
So
please don't drop that swear wrapper, all these sachets, don't drop it on the floor again after taking this pledge. So thank you very much for having me today, ladies, gentlemen. Thank you.
So please keep your hands clapped, either physically, digitally, spiritually. Anyone?
Such a wonderful section.
I didn't think, wow. I didn't know you are this mighty. I know some part of you. See hands already up. Oh my God. Okay, quick one. Once again, thanks so much, Nick. I think your choice of being invited here, it was a good one. Like I said, and I met Adenike first in Vienna this year in January, this winter, at UNEP GEO-7. I happened to be the BSc Behavioral Science and Cultural Task Force for their chapter. Also, I'm also chapter 2 co-author. And I just got, and this last September, we were together in Nairobi, even though she did, I thought she abandoned me, but God helped me. We were together and it's been awesome. So I thought about this Asmin, and here she is giving us such practical insights. There's one person already on there. How do you get so much done in such short period? That's one question for you. Note it down. It's on the comments. Then let's go to hands that are raised. Marcos, your hand is raised. So let's go to Marcos now, and then we'll come back to others. If you're, please, both YouTube or Zoom, get a comment, make them sharp and to the point. And if you're going to comment, sharp to the point.
Okay.
Marcos,
thank you very much for the very great presentation. Very fine, and I commend your effort, and also for Prof bringing you to the platform today. Now, you have been able to convert your lecturing ability. You have also been able to bring in an association. Now, can you tell us how? Because we have seen how practically. How were you able to register it with? I guess what you register is limited by guarantee. And what advice will you give to lecturers to do the same thing, to do similar things in different courses, with different courses in their various universities? Thank you.
Okay, while you are taking
Thank you
that,
very much.
Nick, you want to respond to that with the second question?
Yeah, let me take the first two questions before we move to the other question. So the first question was how do you get all that much done in such a short period? It looks like, so when you see this in the presentation mode, it looks like a short period, but technically it's not short. I mean, this initiative started about 2013 and we're in 2024. So it's over 11 years of a lot of work. But I think the most important thing is to stay true to a message if you can. For me, my message is simple, it's green. A lot of people would want to do a lot of things. They are here today, they are here tomorrow. You know, the problem with that is that you lack focus. I'll give you a very, very, very simple, short example. I remember when I was doing this green program, I also said I wanted to do fashion design because I like fashion. I like to have my own kind of signature look. And that time, I don't know how to sew, by the way. I just love fashion. So I remember I spoke to my mom about it. I said I want to go into fashion design. And I remember what she told me was,
please, let's meet everybody. Which type is it, please? Go on, ma.
All right. So I remember my mother followed me to Lagos. We went to Balogun Market. And then we bought machine, we bought mannequins, we bought different things that tailors and fashion designers they need. And I started this small fashion thing in the house. And the first thing that got me was one time I did a cloth for one woman and she just talked to me anyhow. You know, I was just looking at myself. I said, can I have a master's? Or why is this woman talking to me like this? You know, but I just took it, you know, I did editing, I left, I was, of course, and the woman did not even pay me. And I've spent a lot of money to do that to make those clothes for her, you know, because she showed me a picture of, I think, Genevieve. And the woman doesn't look like Genevieve. She looks like, you know, and she was she's like, it doesn't look like her. I'm like, well, you don't have the same stature as Genevieve. But I can't tell her that. I was just saying that side of me. You know, that went like that. Then I have a tailor. I have a guy that does all the clothes. I just draw the designs and the guy does the clothes. So we're supposed to take a contract in the church to make suits for their choir. I can't remember how much, but let's say I said, okay, you know what, they said they wanted to pay 10,000 naira. My tailor said, 10,000. Man, it's too small. We cannot take that contract. It's too small. I said, okay, so I didn't take it. Guess what? 6 months later, one man saw me and said, Madam, why did you do like that now? I said, what did I do? He said, you took all our suits, you only delivered 20. Where's the 5 left? I said, which 5? Me, when did I take contract for you? He says, yeah, but you sent your boy now to measure us. Guess what? The tailor that told me not to collect 10,000, he went behind my back. You know, I went to take the same contract for him for like 5,000, for instance. You know why? Because he knows how to sew. Me, I don't know how to sew. So in his mind, he's like, maybe I can go behind her back. And it was that moment that I left fashion design. And I went to my mom and I was crying to her. I said, I'm always betrayer. And I said, and she said, I always knew. I said, why? I said, why did you follow me to Lagos in Balogun Market? Why can't you tell me that this is not my way? She said, because if I've told you it's not your way, you won't learn. You have to learn by experiences. Now that you have been disappointed, you know that that is not your way. Your way is this education that it comes naturally to you. It's in your brain already. You know it. You know environmental science. It is what you do. It is what comes naturally to you. So if I was the one, I will focus on this, your lecturing part, and see where it takes you. And for me, that was profound, you know, and that's how I started. And I just stayed on that lane. I left fashion design because I said that was not my part. So you just want to stay true to your message. You want to be consistent. And don't let people say that you are local, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't matter. An idea becomes novel in the environment it is. So there's no new idea. Even when you look at Nobel Prize winners and things like that, it's not like they have a new idea. But sometimes that idea is novel because of the environment in which they've done it. So that's the first question. The second question is, how do lecturers apply this in their field? in your field, you have to be very laser specific. For instance, environmental science is a very broad field. There are lots of environmental scientists. There are lots of educationists. There's lots of environmental educators. What my field is, I focused on green, which is a very, very, very laser focused aspect of environmental science. So you don't want to be too broad. If you're in sociology, what are the aspects of sociology? What is the need? Now, a lot of people are talking about mental health issues. Some people are talking about AI and all that. How do you apply that into what you're doing? That might be your own factor. And then you bring your students together. Of course, sometimes it's always hard. You can start in a university. They might not support your dream. So there are two ways. It's that you have your institute within a university and build on that if you have a very supportive university. But if you don't, you can have a standalone institute, which, like you said, you register it with the government and you get all your accreditation. So with the Green Institute, we registered with Nigeria, we registered in the US, and we're also a United Nations accredited organization. So, but all this takes credibility. UN is not going to accredit you if they feel like you're not doing anything, or if they feel that you're not a credible organization. So you want to make sure that, you know, you maintain your credibility, and it takes time. It's not going to happen in 2 years. It's not going to happen in 3 years. It's going to take time. But the thing is, when your time comes, it will just look like, you know how people say people do like money rituals. It's just going to look like that because you're just going to be getting opportunities right, left, and center. But you have to establish your integrity, your credibility, and you have to stay consistent to your message.
Visibility.
I hope that answers your question. Yeah.
Okay, thanks so much, Adenike. I think your uniqueness is what I respect. Uniqueness, now she sews her clothes, even though she was disappointed as tailor, but she cannot make her clothes herself. That's what she sews her suits herself. Because one thing I met you in was it Istanbul? Yes, when we were ready to catch the flight, and the hair was what I was used to track her. This woman with this plenty hair, so I was watching her, and because the flight was 30 minutes to boarding, and I said that was what would distinguish her. Okay, somebody is saying, how do I join your initiative? I think it's a good idea. Thankfully, some of members of that institute are in ASMN 4.0 because I gave a talk some time ago. What did this year? In July, and some of them registered for the ASMN 4.0. So some of them are already in the initiative. But let's say for her, somebody wants to join, how to the initiative, Green Institute.
So the website is greeninstitute.ng. I'll put that in the chat box. And we also have the officially green.org. So you can come in as a green fellow. You can take a course at the institute. We have a lot of courses. Most importantly, we have a course coming up in January. That's the one based on my book, The Principles of Green Science. It's going to be taught by over 100 experts. It's a free course.
Thanks so much. We all have made a pledge tonight. So we all are green. We are going green. I think I do that. Somebody will say, everyone is not Germany. But it's like part of me. But so let's learn it. Okay, that's the one. Another question we have. I am a green fellow in 2024 cohort, but currently I'm in Turkey and with temporary residents that restrict engaging in community, and this is hindering involving in community. I would like Dr. Adenike to give advice on how I can go about my green fellowship assignment. That's from Mushindo Esther, one of your green fellow who is currently in Turkey and blah, blah.
Thank you, Mushindo, for that question. Of course, I mean, if you're a student, you can always engage within your university. If not, you can engage even online. Going green is not just restricted. I mean, we prefer that it's in your community, but you can organize programs. You can organize a book club, for instance, if you like book clubs. You can also organize webinars with people. If you have any ideas of anything, please reach out to us via email. Yeah, so you can organize stuff virtually.
Yeah, you can even writing the green bicycle, wearing green t-shirts at your level. Okay.
Yeah.
I think the point I've learned today that no matter the challenge around you, there's always, if you have the passion and the will. So when there's a will, there's a will. We can get in done at our own level. That's what for example, DIaDeRC came on these levels. There are gaps we found, issue of mentorship, which we are bridging. And like I said earlier in my opening remark, yesterday I was presenting to a working group on this ASMN platform, a program. And somebody said, we're looking for a structure. This already have a structure. Let's take a structure and replicate. So if the picture I showed earlier, everybody in that team was asked to go to your universities, go to your locality, see how you can replicate what he's doing. And if you want to collaborate with him, why not collaborate? And I also find issue of collaboration coming very strongly for me. Madam Ponegida is taking advantage. She got a call 24 hours to the deadline, but she still applied, but still now. So when you see a call, which you share on our platform, don't just look away, just attempt it. The worst you can get is a no, and no does not keep, but you can get yes, just like she called and look at the opportunity. So that's the issue of that. And the issue of publication comes in collaboration, which was treated at our 3.0 last Sunday. So let's go through that. Collaborate among yourselves. It will help a lot. Like we always say, it's better to collaborate than to compete. Okay, do you have any burning question? I'll just ask you to spend a few more minutes and we have question. Please, team member, check the YouTube platform. We have question there. And also the comment section, we have question there. Well, if everybody has a hands raised, I've not seen anyone yet. Let's get it. Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm going. Okay, there's one again from Kelechi Ayaon. Please, I wouldn't want to miss the January workshop. I want to replicate that in my community. Yes, that is the essence. She has said go to the website, Green Suit and website and check it out and register. And then too, some persons who are on our as we 4.0 now are already fellows, so you can just ask the question on the chat group. Many of them I know this lady from Gloria from Ghana, she's very active. That person like Daniel from Data also. So they are part of they're also on this call. So we check the website, and if you have any question, you can let us know. Nika is like a sister. We are collaborating together. I know she's very busy. She just landed in Germany a few days ago after much time in Nigeria, but she's still here with us. Thanks so much. Okay, any other person coming from that? I'm able to ask that question again. Answer that question. Dr. Adenike, answer Kelechi's good question.
Yes. Please send us an email. Then we can send you a link or something to follow up with us via email. I put the email in the chat box. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, or check the website for details. Okay. Okay. Let's check them. Please check YouTube session. If there are comments that are coming there, so that we can take and begin to work towards closing this session. It's been a good time. Okay, just appreciating you for all you're doing. Thanks so much. Okay, so are we together? Okay, so what? Okay, just what goes on?
Do you have links to Ethiopia, a country planting tens of billions of plantation per year to contribute to green environments?
No, we don't have links in
Ethiopia. Okay.
No, we don't have links in Ethiopia, but please feel free to send us a message. And we'll see how we can amplify our impacts there. I'm sure we have some fellows in Ethiopia.
I know
but personally, I have
Kenya.
not been to Ethiopia too. Yeah.
I think we have our team members in Ethiopia, so we can try and collaborate on that. So Gube Anili, Anili, so we can work it out together. See who says you can become the Ethiopia champion there, and but it is about scaling local action into global impact through collaboration. So if you have your Ethiopia, you have the food soldier there, so we can work together and see that. We have a direct team member in Ethiopia. I was with her when I was in Ethiopia in February. Okay, so and we have our East Africa coordinator, so we can collaborate together with Great Institute and DIaDeRC and see how it's about scaling local action into global impact through collaboration, which she has demonstrated with her passion. One thing we are very good to call on this platform is that we don't just give you theories. We bring people with proven testimonials. They tell you this is what I did. And the ordinary human being like you can see her from the smallest girl in her class. And now she's not that small, but she's still portable. But see how the impact she's making. So see what you can do in your locality. And as we begin to conclude this session today, just to remind us that okay, this is what I was saying yesterday, that after this session, I was using this DIaDeRC platform to see how we can organize a structured mentorship. So We are currently planning on how to work with DIaDeRC, how we can replicate that impact across all these alumni in social sciences. So what we have been charged, whatever I'm doing here, this woman was very supportive. She's a medical doctor of 40 years plus, based on medical degree. And she said, Prof, whatever I do here, if I go to my medical degree, I'll go to replicate that. So what does how we can replicate? So again, it's about collaboration, and replicating impact. Somebody has done what you want to do, just look at what you have been done, see how you can domesticate, replicate, and to make the world a better place, which has told us. So this is what we're doing. But next year, we're hoping that we'll host a physical event with DIaDeRC support, and all of us will be happy for it. Okay, just to round up that, the assignment of today will be on tomorrow. So that will be the last assignment exercise. So to do 1, 2, 3, 4 to qualify for certificate and subscribe for premium membership. And this is sample of certificates jointly, because this is a collaboration between DIaDeRC and also, again, your collaboration comes in here between CSET and at the University of Regina, Canada, with DIaDeRC. And this is a sample, we've already approved it. Signed by the Canadian Research Center, Research Chair, and CSET Director. Okay, so let's get that done to collaborate. And these are opportunities we have already mentioned. So you can also collaborate. So about green, you can write around it. How do we make coastal communities green? What policies, what experiences can we share? Okay, so you can collaborate on that. So if there's no other comments, by next week, Sunday, is the grand finale. The grand finale, grand finale, where I'll be bringing my other mentor, Professor A. I call him Professor Triple A Adero, former VC of Commonwealth University, and also the pioneer VC of British Canadian University in Obudu, talking about networking and experience sharing for career progression. So he will tell us his experience. He's schooled in Russia. He's married a Russian. How all that can help us. So let's not miss it next week. Same time, 6 p.m. Nigeria time. Same link, same channel. That will be grand finale. So those who do the assignment, please, if you want to get a certificate, meet those conditions and get it done latest by Wednesday or Thursday. So you have to collect latest by Thursday, right? Thursday, that should be Thursday is 21st, right? 22nd, 21st. So please get the assignment completed before. If you have any assignment pending, get it done before Thursday next week. No, Thursday this week is already Sunday. So before Thursday, that will be 21st, Thursday 21st, because I can have colleagues on Friday and Saturday ahead of issuance at the final episode, 24th of November 2024. And those who qualify after that will do onboarding for those who qualify for ASMN, who on board for ASMN premium membership. The deadline for that is this month, the 30th of November. We'll do onboarding in December, and then we'll do capacity building. After the onboarding, normally do capacity building training for members that are subscribed. So once again, thanks so much for your time. Look forward to you at our next episode, the final one, which is next to be we issue certificates. We'll be giving testimonial also. So if you have testimonial in the form, that testimonial to share. So those who have will be given time to share it physically here, or we'll read out the ones that were shared. Okay, so if there's no burning question, look forward to seeing you next Sunday, same time, Zoom channel. So once again, Adenike, once again, thank you so much for being there for us, for your time, and also for becoming global icon. So we respect you. I think I told you before, even though you left. I want to get about this lady that she takes a lot of pictures. She's so one thing I love her is that always document what you do. Document everything you do, which also try to represent in dialect. You can put in your web page, put in your LinkedIn page. So when time comes, you can really go back to your record and collect. You can see how she was collating LinkedIn pages from whatever 10 years ago. What if there was no documentation? So always document, because document whatever I do on your LinkedIn page. So when you have the opportunity like this, you can begin to pull out that, because in Africa we don't document. We believe in oral history, which is why many people said Africa is like a download continent. So when you want to upload content, many things are happening, you are doing, document it, put it in a global space, let people see it. And when you start to collate it, you'll be surprised the impact. So if there's no more time, I will wait for 5 more minutes to end the session. So for now, I will stop recording. And